Well, there we are, checking in. Episode 66 of Wise Advice. I got a brand new microphone now. You're not hearing the microphone, you're hearing a microphone that I have on my iPhone. But when you hear the podcast, you'll hear it through this microphone. Kind of excited about it. You know, it's a much better setup for me. The other microphone worked really well, but I'm really kind of looking forward to this one. So as you're listening to the Facebook Live, just to kind of catch you up, you're not hearing, hey Jeff, always number one. So you're not hearing the new microphone through the Facebook Live video. You're hearing a different microphone, but once I get the show going, and you hear actually the show, you'll hear a difference between this microphone and the new or the old one. So yeah. So this is anyway. So good to see you, Jeff. Good to see Joanne's here. Susan's here. Always good to see you guys popping in. Brandy says hello. So anyway, so yeah, it does look awesome, man. I'm super excited about it, and I can I can move it. I can get it exactly where I need it and get it out of the way if I need to get out of the way. So it's kind of cool. It's just a much better setup for me. One of the issues I was having with the other microphone, it was picking up a lot of the background noise for one. But the other issue is anytime I tapped the desk or something accidentally, this here, I learned something new. I told you I'm learning a lot. This is on a shock mount, so you can kind of see how it's all these little things here are like rubber bands. So if I tap on the the mic or something, it doesn't. The sound doesn't make it into the microphone, so yeah, so it's pretty cool. So we'll get started in just a second. I'll answer a couple of your questions. Christy says hi, Diane says hi, Samantha hello, Ruthann hello, Audrey hello, Paula hello, David's here, woohoo, Michelle, and yeah, so let's go down to the bottom. Let's see. I saw a question that I want to answer before we get going. Kathy says, I was wondering if people have been treating you differently since you lost your weight. I don't think so, to be honest with you. I think I treat myself differently. I act differently, so I take that back. There are some differences. I do feel like I'm trying to put it into words. I don't know how to do it, but maybe it's just the self-confidence that I have. Maybe, I have more self-confidence, therefore I feel like I come across differently. Hard to describe. Let me think on that one, Kathy. Maybe I'll come back to that at the end of the show. But I'm going to say yes for the most part, yes. Michelle, hello. June says hi. Denise says hi. Yeah, isn't that awesome? So it's called a Rode Podcaster. I knew nothing about it. Linda, hello. Back from Disneyland. Cool. I'm so glad. So it went well, obviously, Disneyland. So you can't tell me how many times you're thinking of me there. That's cool, because that's important. If you can come back from a trip like that and you're anxious to get on the scale, you've done well, regardless of how well you did. So, Robin says hi, Carrie says hi, Christine, hello. All right, so we got episode 66 coming up. Coincidentally, my printer. So I write up every episode, then I print the episodes. And then and I take a pen, I write some notes on the episodes. But tonight my printer was out of toner, so I'm gonna have to do this one from the computer. So I'm not overly excited about it because I don't have my notes off to the side. So we're gonna see how well that works. So we'll give that a shot. And then the other thing is the way I have this set up is the computer that's recording is behind me. So that's the computer that's recording, so I got to turn around and get that fired up, and then I'll be back with you. So again, Linda, very cool. Great trip with the kids and the grandkids. Martha says hi. Michelle. No, Michelle, I'm doing this completely on my own. Google and YouTube and the podcast hosts I use, they do a podcast for podcasters. So I'm listening to a lot of their podcasts to kind of get some tips and tricks. But no, I'm 100% trying to figure this out on my own, which is fun for me. But anyway, so that's the deal there. So, all right, let's go get this thing fired up. New headphones too. So mic check 1 2. Audio sounds good there. Let's roll around. Mic check 1, 2. Perfect. All right, you guys ready? Water first. I always forget if I get water first or not. The first 2 seconds, I had this like tiny burst of like nervous energy, and the water kind of solves that. So, all right. I am your host, Fat Dag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello, welcome to episode 66 of Wise Advice, and I want to give a big shout out to all you iHeartRadio listeners. I just found out that the show's released on iHeartRadio. Kind of a big deal for me. I submitted the show back a month ago, and I had no idea if they'd pick it up or not, but they did. So if you're listening on iHeartRadio, thank you for being here. As you know, we're also in Stitcher and SoundCloud and YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, all that stuff. This is syndicated all through RSS. So it's available just about anywhere you can get a podcast. But the absolute best way to hear it is through the Wise Advice app that you can get in your app store. So whether you go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, search for Wise Advice. I think it's the absolute best listening experience because it puts it right in there on your app, and you always have access to it. So again, thanks to iHeart. Those of you who are listening out there, thank you so much, and let's see you on over on the app side. So Gene writes in out of the gate. Gene writes in and says, hey, I wanted you to know that I gave the magnets out of my meeting today to my closest Weight Watcher peeps. My mentor, Alan, loved it, but said the following. Well, this assumes that you're tracking and actually know how many points you've eaten. I thought this was interesting observation coming from someone who has been successful lifetimer for many years. I always track, so of course I know the number of points I've used and I have left. Anyway, everyone loved the magnets, and thank you for sending a few extra, Jean. And then Jean ends it with a couple of new quotes that she wrote up. She says, you sort of track, you sort of lose. You ate it, you own it. Feel it, don't feed it. Well, cool, Jean. Thanks for sharing the love. And you're absolutely right. When you're out of points, you got to stop eating points. That is absolutely the key. But that's assuming that you're tracking accurately. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But tracking accurately is the number one thing you can do to continue to lose weight. And so, if you're curious what she means by the magnets, if you go to fatdag.com, click on Listen Now, you'll see a link to a magnet that you can put on your fridge that says, when you're out of points, stop eating points. I only have a handful of them left. I don't really think I want to reorder them. I'm kind of not wanting to be in the magnet business, but it kind of grew from a Facebook Live a few months ago, and so I have a handful of them left. So if that's if you want one, go get them. If not, no big deal there. So a question I have tonight is, do you track 0-point foods? Should you track a 0-point food? If it's 0 points, do you need to put it in the tracker? Well, absolutely, right? And I'll be honest with you, when it comes to 0-point foods, I did not put them in the tracker during my weight loss journey. I just didn't feel like I overate on them, so I didn't put them in. But the reasoning for it is we give you a 0-point food not because there's no calories in the food. We give it to you to entice you to eat that over what you may have eaten earlier. So if, for instance, if the cookie was 3 points and an apple was 3 points, you're never, ever going to get to the point where you're choosing an apple over a cookie if it's the same point value. So it's not that the apple doesn't have any calories, it just doesn't have any points. So the fact that we say it's 0-point food, that's to get you to choose that so that you can start developing these healthy eating habits. Now, the reason that you want to put it in the tracker when it's 0 points is because you do still need to be accountable for that amount of calories. So yeah, we're going to give them to you as 0 points to continue to help you choose healthier options. But if you're not getting the results that you want on the scale, it would be helpful to see a list of everything you've eaten, and if maybe that week you had way too many fruits and vegetables, that could be an indicator that you're still overeating. You still have some unhealthy habits when it comes to quantity, whether it's healthy food or not healthy food, and that's what you've got to get under control. So you absolutely want to track a 0-point food so that you know what you're doing, and that's, if you're not getting the results you want, then you can look back at that. And I had a conversation before I went to the show, and someone else said another good reason is a lot of us now are experimenting with food. We're trying to eat new things that we've never eaten before because we're trying to learn this program, trying to do really well. The advantage of tracking every single thing you eat is you can also figure out if you have a food allergy. You can figure out how your body reacts to different foods, and so that is kind of the benefit there. So you absolutely want to track everything you eat, and when you get to the point where if you're getting good results, then you can figure out what you need to do to maintain it. So all good stuff there. So thank you for that. Email number 1 from Rebecca comes in from Colorado. She says, "Good evening, Fat Dag. Thank you for all your inspiration, enthusiasm, and also your service to our country. You asked for our whys, and here is mine. My weight started to become the reason I didn't want to join my friends on hikes or go out and do things that I used to enjoy. My biggest fear is to be uncomfortable or unable to participate in events. I've seen this happen with my mom. It makes me so sad because there are so many memories I'd love to make with her and my 2 boys, but I can't because of her weight. What kind of life is that? Why do I want to lose weight? I never want to be a prisoner in my own home. I want to live life to its fullest." Thank you, Rebecca from Colorado. Rebecca, when you talk about living life to its fullest, I tell you that you're on the right path to do that. And you can live life to its fullest regardless of where you are in your Weight Watcher journey. And the quicker you get to that point, the easier the journey becomes. So I want you to refocus on that set. I want you to all of a sudden say, you know what, I'm actually living a really good life right now. Life is really good. Sure, I want to lose some weight. And sure, I do not want to, to have this weight on me. I get all that. But the quicker you can come to terms with where you are in your life currently, the easier it is to get the change that you want to get. Now, I noticed today, I had I understand your mindset, because I noticed today when I was at work, for the first time, I actually recognized it. I actually felt like I was in the military. When I've been in the military for 20-some years and been overweight, many of them, there were times when I just didn't feel like I looked like the G.I. Joe guy, And so I recognized that today as I was walking down the hall and someone came by. I'm like, yeah, I actually feel like I belong in the military. So that, for me, is what I think that you're kind of trying to get to, is you want to all of a sudden experience things and you want to live life to its fullest in that capacity. You're on your way. You're doing your boys a huge favor by taking care of this now so that they can see the future that you don't have to see that you're looking at with your mom. And you're actually making that change, so go live your life. Get it done, Rebecca. I know you can get this done. Thank you. Rachel writes in. She says, "Hey again, I wanted to send a quick hello and say that today's episode was exactly what I needed to hear this morning. Today is my 1-year anniversary of hitting goal. As I mentioned in my last email, I've successfully maintained within 3 pounds for the past year, except for today, my 1-year mark. Thanks to lovely PMS, #LadyProblems, I was higher than my maintenance range. However, you really encouraged me with what you said about not focusing on a number and focusing how you look and how you feel. Rather than freaking out, I plan on celebrating my successful maintenance today. I plan on celebrating my focus and determination over the past year. I plan on focusing on the fact that I'm now a runner. I now have run 235 miles in 2017, I should say. I plan on celebrating the healthiest choices I've made and the unhealthy choices that I've at least been mindful of. Thank you for encouraging us to focus on our choices, determination, and how we feel. Have a great day, Rachel." Rachel, it's interesting. I get that email fairly often, or at least see it on Connect, that what's interesting about this journey is this absolutely is really all in our head. The things we have going in our head reframe everything. So if you get your head right and you truly are working to the point where you're happy with who you are, You feel really good, and you recognize that feeling. When you hear a podcast, when you hear someone's story, you can pull out the pieces that are similar. The journey for us is we all have so many similarities. That's why when you post something on Connect, it's not long before someone comes along and says, me too. So when you do that, and then all of a sudden you hear someone else say something, you can reframe it in your head, and you can hear what you need to hear out of it. So the podcast does resonate in that regard because you can agree with it. Now, the beautiful thing about the app is you can save these episodes for later, and you can listen to them over and over and over again if that's what you want to do. But congrats on your 1-year anniversary. That's very cool. Thanks for the TMI on your hashtag. Love that. I don't understand that side of it, so I can't even begin to tell you how that impacts the scale. But it doesn't ever impact the trend line. It doesn't ever, give us to the point where we're back to a starting point. Yeah, sure, it impacts a day or 2 or 3, but it doesn't impact you long term. So you focus exactly on how you feel. You focus on how your clothes fit, the things you can do, the fact that you can run 235 miles. That's incredible. That's great work. I focus on the fact that I'm wearing a size 31 jeans. I'm focusing on the fact that I'm wearing a medium t-shirt. I have not done that since before high school. So I'm glad, absolutely glad that you are not freaking out. Plan to be successful. Plan to stay on maintenance. Go get it done. Continue to make healthy choices. Live this for a long time. You have a great mindset. Focus on your cans, not the can-nots. Focus on all the things that you are doing and stick with that. Very, very good work. Beth writes in and says, hey there, not fat anymore, Dag. I've followed you on Connect since your very first post. I'm TK421_Beth on Connect. You know, the one with the fluffy white Samoyed Zuzu. You inspired me to restart Weight Watchers for the 3rd time. Since I restarted on May 2nd, 2017, I am proud to say on my last weigh-in on May 22nd, I am 7.7 pounds down. I know I have a long way to go, but I cannot wait. I am feeling so much better, eating healthier, and listening to your podcast while I walk during my lunch hour. And when I get home from work, I'm listening to you again while walking Zuzu. I'm an online-only member, and your post and podcast keep me going. I love Connect, and I find inspiration every time I am on there, which is several times a day. I am totally in the Weight Watcher zone, and nothing will stop me this time. 3rd time is a charm, no? I'll write again soon. Thanks for your service. Love it when you're out of points. Stop eating points, Beth. Beth, absolutely. Your dog. Shout out to Zuzu, the coolest dog on Weight Watchers, and no disrespect to all the other dogs on Weight Watchers out there, but every time I see a picture of you and that pup, she's so beautiful. So it's very cool. Hey, thank you for being a wingman from day one. I remember my very first post, and I was at an all-time low. I was at a rock bottom, and I had nowhere else to turn. And the fact that you were there on day one to pick me up is what got me to goal. On day one, you had no idea who I was. You had no idea what I was about to embark on, but you believed in me. And you just by a simple like of the post and a comment, it really changed everything about my journey. So I am incredibly grateful, and that's why I continue to do this, because I say this all the time, is the Connect community saved my life. The Connect community saved my career, and I do honestly mean it, and I don't know where I'd be if that didn't happen. So that fuels me to want to make sure that you follow me, that you get to where I am, so that you can get to goal, because I believe that you can get there. I opened the show with that on purpose. I believe in you. I absolutely believe you can get this done, just like you did for me way back in the beginning, a year and a half ago. So thank you for being there from day one. Now, my hope for you is exactly what you're doing. My hope is that you supplement everything you're doing with this podcast. This podcast is supposed to keep you focused. It's not replacing anything that you're already doing. It doesn't replace, Connect. It doesn't replace a meeting if you were a meeting person. It supplements you, because you need a daily reminder that someone believes in you and that you can get this done. The 3rd time absolutely is a charm. So go do it. Go get it done. Proud of you. Janie Sue writes in and she says, my dear friend, I just saw your website for the first time. Wow. It's simply beautiful, so well laid out, user-friendly, and packed with inspiration and encouragement. Your before and after photos tell the story so eloquently. There is joy in your eyes, in your after pictures, and in your before photos. That was missing. I'm so thankful for how far you've come and the way that you're teaching us that maintenance, once you get to goal, is not only possible, but doable. That gives me a lot of hope, and as I seek to conquer this last 20 pounds or so. So here's my question. My doctor is already blown away by my progress. While it is slow, about 10 pounds a year, it has been steady. She met me at my highest weight, and after one office visit, when I was in tears, she said to me, Janie, I really believe you can do this. I believe that you can lose weight. She got me believing it too, and that's when I rejoined Weight Watchers for the last time. I say that because I made a decision to show up and not quit. Like you, I kind of wish that I knew my before body fat ratio. I'm wondering if I should wait till goal to get that checked, or if I should go do that now. I'm 61, I will be 62 in August, and I'm just starting to do weight training at home on my own to try and move my body forward. Thanks, Mike. Your podcasts are great. I have a podcast app on my iPhone and added yours to the ones I regularly listen to. You come with me on my daily walks, helping me to stop eating points when I'm out of points. Blessings and love, Janie. Janie, thank you so much for the kudos on the website. Yeah, I worked. It was about 4 full days of development on that thing. I mean, it was longer than that, but for 4 days I did nothing but tidy that up and get that done. So I'm very, very proud of the website. The only reason the website exists is that, I started noticing on Connect is brand new people would come on board and they would see me and they didn't understand the journey. So I wanted to put that journey somewhere where they could have access to it, and also for you to be able to share to people who aren't yet on their journey, so they can see that it's doable and it brings them into the journey with us. So thank you for the kudos on that. You're absolutely right. There is true joy in the photos. Not only can you see it in the photos, as I can see it in my life. So I'm glad that it resonates into the photos so that it's visible to you. And you're totally right. Maintenance is so doable. Maintenance, depending on who you talk to, you're going to get maintenance is easier, maintenance is harder. Maintenance is just different. It absolutely is different. You have a different mindset you have to work with. The rules are generally the same. You're following the program generally the same. So it depends on your journey. Now, here's where you're at. If you're at the point where you want to go get your body fat checked again, so that you have a number to compare it to, my personal preference would be to not do that. I understand why you'd want to do it, but what's going to motivate you? What's going to make you wake up tomorrow and want to fight harder than you ever fought to get this done? If this will do that, then go do that, right? But if it's not, if it's just a data point, then then you make the decision. But you need to find everything on this journey that makes you wake up the next day more on fire than you were the day before. If that does it, go do it. It's kind of like I say with daily weighing. Daily weighing does that for me. It doesn't do it for everybody. So it's absolutely your journey. You're doing fantastic work. You have the ability to get this done. 10 pounds a year is phenomenal. If you lose 10 pounds consistently every single year, you're doing outstanding work. Keep it up. I'm sure your doc's proud of you. Absolutely. Victoria at a supper in New York writes in and says, Dag, I am so excited to share this with you. As I had mentioned in an email prior to this one, I've been struggling to get back down to the weight I was in December, before Christmas break. I was down to the lowest weight I'd ever been, and when I went away on vacation, I came back 8 pounds heavier, and I've not been able to budge on the scale since my weigh-in on January 11th. Today, I am happy to share with you that I am back down into that new decade of numbers that I've been wanting so much to see, but I have not been able to see it. I also started to run, something I've never ever thought I could bring myself to do, and can now run a full mile. I'm minus 1.2 this week, all for a grand total of 16.4 pounds. That's a lot of butter, and I'm halfway to goal. Thank you for your support and being my wingman, Victoria. So Victoria, you absolutely got hit by the complacency bug. When the complacency bug bites you, you get to the point where you feel really good. You feel healthy. You know you're doing good. You know you're working the plan well. and suddenly portion sizes increases and meal sizes increase. You did an excellent job of remembering your why and focusing and reeling it back in. Congrats on that. Congrats on getting back on track. That is the number one way to beat complacency, is to remember your why, remember your focus, and you get back to as quick as possible. That the fact that you come back from a trip 8 pounds up, it's at that moment right there, if you give up, if you say, I can't do this, that's when we just start losing the battle. But not you. You came in, you said, you know what, I'm going to get this done. And you focused, and you fought your way through it, and you did it. You're running a mile, a full mile. You know how difficult it is to run a full mile? That's absolutely priceless. What I really love about your email is the fact that you didn't even believe that was possible. And so now that you're doing things you didn't even believe possible, imagine what else is available for you. Imagine what else you have that you can do if you just free your mind. If you just say, you know what, I don't know, I'm not setting any limits. I'm just taking each day at a time, and I'm just pushing a little harder each day. I want to get to goal. If 16.4 pounds does not happen by accident. It takes focus. It takes discipline. You've gotten it done. Halfway to goal is absolutely proof you can do it. You've already done it. Just do exactly what you did. Do it over again, and you'll reach your goal. And when you reach your goal, and you step on the scale for the very last time in a weight loss mode, there's something magical about it. There's something so uniquely different that I can't explain it to you. You have to experience it for yourself, and you're halfway there. You got this. So thank you for that. Thank you for sending in your celebration. I love when we talk about celebrations, because when you celebrate, it tells me how proud of yourself you are. And if you're proud of you, then I'm proud of you. You've got to be proud of what you're doing. So what is it that you're celebrating? Send in your celebrations. Go to fatdag.com, click on Listen Now, send in your questions, your comments. I'll include them as part of the show. But that's going to do it for this time. Remember, losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. All right, so good stuff there. Let's go. I'm going to scroll all the way back here to the top, and we'll answer whatever questions. I saw a lot of comments popping in when we opened the show, so kind of looking forward to digging into there and see what I missed. Let's see. Okay, so I left off there. So let's see. Michelle says, you've watched you grow. Way to go. Thank you so much. Christine, we're honestly grateful for your insight and support. Christine, I'm absolutely, now I can read. I'm absolutely honored and glad to do it. It's, I hope you heard it in the show. Connect saved my life, totally. I can never, ever, I'll never, ever forget that. I'll never, ever, stop emphasizing that, because that is what got me to goal. And that's what fuels me, is the fact that because it got me to goal, I want to get everyone else to go. I want to live in a world where every single person is at an ideal body weight. How cool is that? So I just want you to experience it, and so that's why I do it. So anyway, Ruth, I'm glad you got to watch live. That's cool. Linda says she's ready. Amy, yeah. So Amy, I'm just learning. It's totally fun to do. So it's fun. I enjoy it. So Susan says go. Diane says sounds great. Denise says she listens the next morning on your run. You can see it in your mind as you run along. So that's pretty cool. So you watch it live and then replay the audio as you run. So very, very good. Let's see. Daniela, I always listen to you during the walk, so thank you. I wish I got fitness points for all these things you guys do while you're listening. So I go running, I go walking every day, and I'm in all these earbuds. I'm going to start tracking those as fitness points and see how that works. We'll see if it works. Kirby, thank you, sir. Went well, I think. Yvette says she's been missing in action from Weight Watchers for some time, but still listening in from time to time, ready to start again. So as long as you start again, you're going to be in good shape, really. So I think a lot of us, when we do this, and the reason we quit is because we run into a patch of time when it just becomes difficult or something happens and we lose our focus. The quicker you rejoin, the better off you're going to be. And so you don't have to be perfect on the plan. You just have to be present, and you have to work it. So you welcome back. Let's go get it done. I really want this for you. I do. So Kirby, okay, now we're talking about the 0 point stuff. He doesn't track zero unless he's having too many and you want to know how much you're having. That's kind of my synopsis. So I think you should track them, but to each his own. I of course didn't, so it's a little hypocritical when I say it like that, but I understand why they want us to. I just felt like the 0 point foods I had under control and I didn't overindulge in them. But you absolutely can overeat on 0 point foods. So Pamela finally caught the live show. Woohoo! Yep, and so Susan is exactly right. You can track everything so you can look back and see if you got too much or not enough. Great stuff. So Denise says the same thing. Diane does track 0 point foods. And Susan, it's a habit to track everything. That's exactly it. So Kirby says he can quick add 0 points and puts notes in the tracker or even emojis. I didn't know you could put emojis in the tracker. That's kind of cool. Yeah, Michelle, a couple plans ago you could mark off the fruit and the water. I don't know why that went away. I really don't have a clue, but yeah, you no longer can do that. So yeah, the 5th time's the charm, 6th time's the charm, 10th time's the charm. Whatever time you join for the last time is the charm. So it doesn't matter if it's the 3rd time or the 4th time or the 1st time. The last time you join is it. So good work. Barbara says hi. Aaron says amazing, thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Linda says you can't wait to weigh in tomorrow. Isn't that cool? When you get to the point when you are anxious to get on the scale, that's victory. It doesn't matter what the scale says. You've won in your mind, and you're working the right plan. So, Linda, I'm awful proud of you for saying that. So, looking forward to getting right back on the plan. That's very, very cool. Barbara's sharing the videos and talking with your niece. Thank you for sharing. I love it when you guys share. Every time I see a lot of them on Connect when someone says something and you guys answer with, hey, follow or listen to this podcast. That means the world to me because that's how we reach more people. So it's very, very, very nice. So you're very welcome, Yvette. Or under eat. Yeah, if you're not eating enough, if you're not tracking enough, then you can tell if you're under eating as well. Same thing. Yeah, Aaron says tracking protein, carbs, and fats. Exactly. The app makes it easy to do all that. So, and then Denise ends it with track 'em. So, very, very cool. So that's the end of the show. So you'll have to listen to the show on the app or wherever you listen to the show because I want to know what you think of this new microphone. I'm going to go in and play with the audio in a second and see if it makes a difference. I'm pretty sure it does based on the test that I did. But I'm really happy with the new microphone. So it looks cool. It sounds cool. And it swivels around and it makes my house a recording studio. My wife loves it apparently. So, but cool. Well, that's it. So I made it to the bottom here. So go ahead. We'll get the show point out. Yeah, it's time for bed, Denise. I got to get the show published. It'll be there when you wake up. So get the app. It's in the App Store. It's free. There's no charge for the app. I don't want to charge for it. I want you to have access to it. So again, stay focused, stay disciplined. You absolutely have the ability to get this done. If you've lost a single pound on Weight Watchers or any plan you've done, if you've done that, you can do it again. And you do it 3 times and 4 times and 5 times. Just keep doing what you're doing when you're getting the results that you want, and you'll get there. It takes focus. It takes discipline, and that's the whole reason we do this, is to keep your mind in the game so that you can win. Set your sights on those goals and go after them. I wish you good focus.